by two. Sobongo kine, orero so, kine, omwana so. Seko. Sobongo mwano, orero so, kine. Kana kakwera kanyata toyayo. Sobongo kibinda wabaka wabika. Sobongo kine. Sobongo kibinda wabaka wabika. Sobongo kine. Ukamalera sobongo kine. Orero sobongo kine. Yamwana bayaya ba, yamba kukata joyaya. Sabongo kibinda wabaka wabika. Sobongo kine. Sobongo kibinda wabaka wabika. Sobongo kine. Kamalero sobongo kine. Orero sobongo kine. Nakana kwamba kutotorora yayo, orero kutotorora yayo, kutotorora yayo, orero kutotorora kine. Sobongo kibinda wabaka wabika. Sobongo kine. Sobongo kibinda wabaka wabika. Sobongo kine. Kamalero sobongo kine. Orero sobongo kine. Kutotorora jana, orero kutotorora kine. Sobongo mwana, mwana sobongo kine. Sobongo kibinda wabaka wabika. Sobongo kine. Kamalero sobongo kine. Orero sobongo kine. Kanake banshikira na kuseka. Sobongo kine. Uno mwana sobongo nako. Sobongo mwanke. Uno mwana sobongo kine. Sobongo kibinda.
Hello. Good evening, Chuempala. Good evening, Lusaka. Good evening, Zimbabwe, Swaziland, Botswana, Namibia, that's Southern Africa, and North Africa, and all the other Africas there is in this world. Thank you very much for joining us. Those in North America, good morning, or is it good afternoon in Calgary, and the rest of North America and other parts of the world. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Elias Munsha, and I am coming to you live on TV Bakwetu. I am in Lusaka, and so that is quite exciting to be coming to you live from Lusaka. I have very good lighting, so for those that are experiencing difficulties with lighting, but I have very good lighting here. I hope it is working just fine. There's been a spate of suicides, sadly. And so today we want to remember all those fellow citizens who we have lost to suicide. And so, because of that, we wanted to deal with issues of mental health. And so, I have brought along my friend Nosiku Situmbeko to help me dissect this issue and reflect on it. Nosiku Situmbeko is a social worker, juvenile inspector, probation officer in the Ministry of Community Development, and that is the Department of Social Welfare. Nosiku is a vlogger, and she's also a women and child rights activist. And most exciting of all, Nosiku is host of a vlogging program, video program, social media platform that is known as Siku's Couch. And so Nosiku is going to help us deal with the issue of mental health and suicides that have been going on in our country recently. And so we are going to look at that today. So please share this link with as many people as possible. I have lost Nosiku once more, but she's going to come back again here. And we are going to look at the issues of suicides and suicides and mental health in our country, in Zambia. We are going to look at several things that are going on. As usual, we're going to look at what is going on first, diagnose the problem, and see whether we can have some solutions to the problems that we are having. Nosiku, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Elias Munsha. Good evening, everyone who's joined us. Thank you so much for having me today on TV Bakwetu. I'm very excited, but also nervous at the same time.
You are
So I
welcome.
hope we're going to have a fruitful discussion. And thank you for the intro. So yeah, we'll be looking at mental health.
Yes. So you're very welcome. TV Bakwetu is extremely
My
informal.
connection is very poor. I
Yeah.
think it's thanks to Storm Anna. It keeps.
Yeah. I think Anna is affecting all of us. Some are saying that Anna has changed the name to Natasha. I don't know why Anna should change the name to Natasha, but I think Anna is really devastating us all. Anyway, you are welcome here. Remember, TV Bakwetu is mostly informal, and so we're going to have a great discussion. Are you there, Nosiku?
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
All right. Okay. Thank you. And so you're welcome. What I was saying was that we are quite an informal group. This is an informal platform, and so you should feel free. And we look forward to hearing from you. Anyway, we are dealing with the issues of mental health and suicides that have been happening in our country. And so, Nosiko, I would like us to just observe um, uh, just that moment where we acknowledge the passing of our fellow citizens that we have lost to suicides. Some as very young, in their teens, passing away through suicides. And so we pray with the families and hope that they are going to be able to just receive the grace that they need through this very difficult time. It's not very easy to lose someone from suicide, and so we hope and pray that each and every family is going to be consoled. Nosiku, what is going on with suicides in our country?
So maybe the first thing we need to acknowledge is that issues of mental health have not taken center stage in our country generally. I think the discussions going on right now, we are admitting to the fact that there hasn't been a very good parenting, there hasn't been very good mentorship for children in schools, at home, in churches, and generally in the community. So then we find that children have no platform to speak about issues of mental health.
Yeah, it appears like we are losing Nosiku. We've lost Nosiku here, and the general picture here in Lusaka is that the network is quite bad. I'm surprised that I actually have a much more stable network here today, but it's usually quite bad. And so we're going to work through this and see how we go through
Hello?
this. We
Um,
are happy that you are back. We lost you there briefly. Welcome back to TV Vakwetu.
okay. Yeah. I was thinking maybe it's the glasses that are affecting the connection. So I've taken them off.
So funny. So should I take off my glasses as well? No. I was,
No,
for me,
you
if I
won't be
take
able
off my
to see me.
no, I think I should be able to see you, but I would see you better. Let's put it that way. Better.
Yeah. All
I
right.
would still be.
Okay. So I think
But
we need to
you were
run
saying
through this
something.
real quick because my connection is very poor. So
Yeah.
I was saying that I think the problem that we are facing now is because this is, I think, a time bomb that probably a lot of us as stakeholders didn't hear ticking. So the
Right.
issue is that children don't have a platform to speak, both at home and in the schools. And the discussion around children's mental health is that there's a lot of mechanisms that are lacking. So, first of all, we will talk about issues from home. I think with the suicides that have been happening with children committing suicide because of bad grades, is the issue that is coming up where children are faced with unhealthy competition. Okay, it's good for
Right.
people to compete, but children are placed in the limelight where now you find if a child has not done well, then it's a big problem starting from home and then at school. My daughter wrote her grade 7, and the frenzy around the results coming out was too much. Everyone was calling me, what are causes results, I was wondering what the panic was all about, and I told people I'm not going to panic about grade 7 results that are not even mine. Okay,
Right.
I'm just going to trust that my daughter did her best, and whatever her best is, if she put in 100%, we will still celebrate those results. But that's not the case with most children. So the
Mhm.
pressure that they go through is too much, and the acceptance at home is not there. So the minute a child does not do well academically, we are forgetting that that is a whole being. They could still progress and be successful in other non-academic things. So I think we are putting a lot of pressure on our children, but also
Right.
not giving them a lot of attention so that we know exactly what they're going through. The other
Okay.
thing I wanted to highlight is that I think our parenting skills leave a lot to be desired because now we have parents that are too busy to raise their children.
Mm.
We leave home in the morning, we go for work, come back. The whole time they are left with the nanny, who, by the way, is not allowed to correct the children or discipline them. Nga mwabwerako bashauta te mwana wawe nishiwachimumi nani nishiwachitashani nishiwachiramu eberefu, you get. So the maids just watch. So like I normally say at our church, I say children are left to grow just like grass. And
Right.
then at a certain point you start wondering, what have I raised? But you were not actually there to do the raising. So that is one aspect of it. Also, the other thing is we don't have
Hello, viewers. It appears like we are still experiencing that connection, and we have Nosiku Stumbeko, who has extensive experience working for the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services. She has been working with juveniles and working as a probationary officer and juvenile officer. There are several aspects to her to what she does. And so we are very privileged that we could have her here today for her to explain to us a little bit of what's going on, a little bit of what's going on in our country with the recent spike in suicides, particularly
Yeah.
among young people. So yes, Nosifa,
Okay,
please
I'm
carry on.
back. I'm so sorry for that poor connection. So I was saying that I lost my thoughts. Oh yeah, I was saying we don't have a lot of opportunities or service providers rather for mental health. The few that are there also do not have easy access to the children. I mean, this morning we had an international discussion around mental health, and one of the aspects that came out was that in some instances children can have access to these facilities, but they're not ready to actually come in and get the counseling that they need. So I
Right.
think there's a gap there where, for instance, we have Chinama, we have the mental health clinic at the UTH, but Chinama itself needs to be destigmatized, if I can say that, because the minute somebody says, well, I'm giving you a prescription, you need to go see someone at Chinama, people think you are cuckoo, you've gone mad, okay?
Right.
And yet it's a clinic that helps all kinds of psychological issues. But so that stigma that is associated with seeing counselors needs to be dealt with. Um, the time I had COVID, I was later diagnosed with post-COVID depression. And I remember
Right.
telling one of my supervisors that I needed to go to Clinic 6, I think it's Clinic 6, to see a counselor. It was a joke,
Now,
okay?
Clinic
Everyone
6,
was laughing at me.
yeah.
Ishwalaira
Where,
kuchipatala, you're strong. There's no need to do that. You can do this on your own.
no,
So I
Nosiku, you say,
realized that if an adult like me, hello?
Nosiku, you said Clinic 6. Where is that? Is that at UTH?
Sorry, doctor, what was that? I missed that.
Uh, Clinic 6. You mentioned Clinic 6. Where is that?
Yes, that is at UTH. So that's their mental health section. Yes, at the UTH, that is their mental health section.
Right.
So, and well, I think the best part maybe to mention is that much as we have been sort of caught unawares because like we've been hit, uh, I'm happy to say that already there's strides that are being made towards making mental health available, especially to the children. And with the start of a lot of discussions and a lot of campaigns, I think we are on the right track to try and catch up with what has already bypassed us. So I think also the lack of information and the lack of awareness is a challenge.
All right.
Counseling, okay?
All
And
right.
so others don't know that there's organizations that are ready to counsel you. Even social welfare as a department, actually, we offer psychosocial counseling. But of course, when it comes to mental health, you need experts now to deal with those matters. So I think from the family perspective, as
Mhm.
parents, we have a lot to do. First of all, to raise resilient and confident children. Okay. I shared earlier today on my post that growing up, a certain boy told me I had hairy legs, and there I went. I shaved off my legs, and then I went home, and my mother noticed. I actually mentioned something. My mother said, "But you shaved your legs." And so she quickly told me, "You go and tell that boy who told you they don't like your hairy legs that the Nosiku I gave birth to will remain hairy." And so if they don't like you, they should find another Nosiku.
Right.
So, so I think my confidence started there. And the next time I saw that guy, I was like, you know what? My mother says my legs are beautiful.
All right.
And it was the
And
same thing. Yeah. And it was the
and
same
so, and
thing
so,
where, yeah, go on.
oh, and so that gives you confidence as a child. How does that
Child.
then work now, right? Where children
So,
are going to school, children are being bullied.
exactly.
Is that leading to problems?
Yeah. So also, when you have a confident child, okay, when you have a resilient child, it's not easy for them to be broken by outside forces because from home they are coming home from home confident. You get? They are coming home resilient,
Right.
very sure they have a high self-esteem. So the school environment is such that children are coming from different homes and they're coming in this one space where they must coexist. So if you have a child whose bubble is easily popped, they will have a problem. Also, if a child is coming from a toxic home, okay, a toxic environment where they see violence all the
Right.
time, or where they themselves are violated, they're gonna come into the school environment and try and act out, all right, to want acceptance. So they end up being bullies and they bully everybody else, or worse, they become the victim themselves because that maybe timid attitude coming from home, they find a bully who's going to walk all over them in the school environment. So there's a lot that the family setup needs to do, but also there's a lot that the school environment needs to do, where we have counseling and guidance people in these schools. So I start to wonder, are we doing our job? Because it's the duty of the counseling and guidance officers in these schools to prepare children before exams, for instance, and tell them, look, even if you do badly, it's not the end of the world. You can still come back and resit for those exams. You can still channel your energies. And that's why we have these extracurricular activities so that children can thrive in these other
Yeah.
fields, you see. We have like in Catholic schools, Balakwatama
So
Mass, Mass before they close. That's an opportunity again to remind the children as you go back home. Don't fall prey to peer pressure. When the results come out, whatever the results are, you can still, go back to school. You can still do something. So I'm thinking we're not doing what we should be doing in the home setup, in the school setup, but generally also in the community. Yes, you had something to say?
so what I'm noticing there is the fact that children need to be taught that it is not the end of the world. Failing
Exactly.
an exam
An
is not the
exam.
end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or failing at
Yes.
anything, and it's not the end of the world. Or having hairy
Mm.
legs or shaven legs or anything like that. It's not the end.
Oh, being a big girl, my mother would call me a baby elephant. So I think even when somebody else called me anything growing up, I was like, you know what? I've been called fat by my own mother. So no.
So
Yes.
Nosiku, you've
And
mentioned parents playing a role. You've mentioned schools playing a role.
yes.
What about
Yeah.
other role models? What are we seeing online, for
Yeah.
example? Uh, what
So
are we
also,
seeing? Is that different?
uh-huh. So also, I think there's a lot that us as stakeholders need to do. All right. That's why I was saying I'm glad that we're making strides. Okay, I'm glad that the mental health departments at the China at UTH are very, very alive and they're thriving. And also, I think people working with different ministries that are mandated to safeguard the welfare of the children, we are getting to have a lot of trainings and discussions around how best to handle children's mental health. I think last year it was celebrated very well. There was a lot of awareness around children's mental health. I think there was a lot of radio programs, TV programs, street outreach, such that everybody that came to the table appreciated what the country was starting to do. And for the first time, I think we saw the president of the country make mention of the importance of mental health. So I think we're in the right direction. I really just need to emphasize that there's a lot more that we need to do, because then the cases will keep rising for as long as we're not having the difficult discussions. Okay. Mental health issues are not easy to talk about, and it's difficult because some children will act happy when in fact there's a problem. All right. So we need to pay attentive. We need to pay attention to what our children are going through, both at school, at home. And I want to implore the churches at this point, because I think children spend a lot of time in the school environment, but also around the church activities. So if all stakeholders, come together, we can win this. I'm encouraged by our HIV story. You get? There was a time when HIV was a thorn in the flesh.
Right.
But I remember around 2015,
I remember that
2016,
time.
I was Go on.
No. You were mentioning something about the HIV/AIDS story, and I'm saying I was there.
Yeah.
My own
So
background as a pastor began from there. Yeah.
we keep forgetting a pastor, eh? So yeah. So you see, there was a time when HIV was a thorny issue, not so
Right.
much anymore, because the time I served one time as Lusaka District AIDS Task Force Vice Chairperson, and we had, aggressive response campaigns, we had road shows, we had test and treat campaigns. When we said we had satellite activities, it was in each and every constituency there was activities. You get, so that everybody was touched. Everyone had access to sexual reproductive health information. We have these dreams outlets for girls around the communities. So really, we went out 150%. And now we have people whose viral loads are zero. Okay, they are doing very fine. They are on zero infection. And if we take the same approach with mental health issues, I think we would score very well. We need to attend this aggressively, like Bemba say, and my Bemba is not very good.
Have a go at it. Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, tatumfuire chibemba alenera ndene achani.
Nachiranda nati. Ichakukonka olubiro nawe uchikonka olubiro. Is that good?
Oh yes, that's good. That's good Bemba right there. I thought that you were going to go into that Bemba.
Yeah,
that one.
the English one. The
Not the
lousy
English one.
tainted Bemba.
No,
The
the
lousy
deep.
tainted.
The deep one. Idea malumbo idea.
Oh, awe bane, awe. That's not my expertise.
Okay, that's what we need to do as far as children's mental health is
So
concerned.
I think if I'm gonna itemize the things very clearly that we are faced with, first we are faced with lack of information and lack of awareness on mental health. Okay.
Right.
Secondly, we are faced with the stigma around mental health issues. Okay. Thirdly, children are not given the platform to speak and say their mind and share with us what they're going through. So be it at home, be it at school, children are not given the platform to speak. Okay. I also want to mention quickly that COVID has also contributed in a way, because most children then are seeing new problems for the first time in their home environment. Okay. We know the socioeconomic challenges that COVID has brought upon homes, but also it meant that a lot of children had a lot of interaction with the internet. The virtual space expanding meant that children
Right.
are on the tablets a lot of times, accessing school material, but also they were, having access to things they shouldn't be accessing. So it's not very common here in Zambia where you have children trafficked, children drawn into pornography or, internet sexual activities, but it's very common out there. But, we know that a lot of children are communicating with people they shouldn't be communicating with. We know that a lot of children have faced abuse within the homes, because then COVID has meant that a lot of children were confined in their homes. But also the issue of us not believing children. So a child will be exposed to some form of violence, some form of abuse, and as
Right.
families were not ready to believe the victim.
Now, no Siku,
And
we're
I
going to
pray that going
yeah,
forward, we can learn to believe the victim.
right. Now,
Pardon?
no Siku, going forward, we
I
would
missed
like
that.
so what I'm trying to say is going forward, we would like you
Yeah.
to come back and continue talking about these topics because they're extremely important. And so I'm hoping that we can have you
Yes.
again here so that you can take more time explaining these and exploring these issues for our society. Now, I know
Mm-hmm.
this is very huge a topic,
Yeah.
and we do not have all the time. In fact, we need to be closing now in a
Yes.
minute or two. In general terms, where should
Okay.
people go to if they need help? Now, this could be an individual child
Okay.
right now. We don't expect that children will be
Yeah.
will be watching now. They should be sleeping. But just in case there is a child watching and they have suicidal ideation or suicidal thoughts, or a parent or a guardian who looks at the child and they notice that in them, in general terms, where should they go? Um, um,
Okay.
please don't say that they
So
should just
always,
go to pastors alone, right? Because sometimes there is
yeah.
that spiritual help that is needed, but at other times, in addition to
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual and pastoral help, we need the professional help.
The professional help. Exactly. So I think first things first, the first contact should be a trusted adult if it's in a home setup. Okay. And because then I'm going to say then children should go to social welfare, but they won't know where that is. You understand? So the first
Right.
contact really is a trusted adult within the environment, be it at home, be it at school. So, but also they can also come to, they can also access social services, all right, for counseling, and
Yeah.
also get to Chinama and the UTH at Clinic 6, where they specialize in this. We also have the Center of Excellence just there at UTH, where different matters are dealt with. So if, say, you went to the social welfare department, we would be able to give you a lot of references for other institutions that offer psychosocial counseling.
Right.
So let's not feel like we're cooped up, but also we have child helplines. Okay, so let's not
Right.
feel like we are stuck within ourselves and we have no access to we have no help rather. So we can always call on our stakeholders to help to counsel our together and raise awareness on children's mental health, and also make all these mechanisms that needs to help us to win this war available.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, our viewers. This has been brief but extremely enriching. And Nosiku Stumbeko will be coming back on TV Bakwe to explore these
Hello.
issues. for families. So we going So we're going to be having Nosiku update us on some of these issues. And thank you very much for coming on TV Bakwetu tonight. This has been a presentation of TV Bakwetu. Elias Musha here with Nosiku Stumbeko. We are saying God bless you and God bless our country. We should now be running into the one-on-one with Dr. Kasonso, which is just starting right now on TV Bakwetu. God bless you and God bless our country.